3. We're going to put the rest of this together, get some wheels on it, and some major assembly coming up. I'm Roger, welcome to the shop, and this is part 3 of the restoration of the 1989/90 Grizzly G1182 Jointer. And what I have here, of course, as you can see, if you've watched part 1 and 2, got the top coat on it. I got some paint on it. I've got my pedestal installed over here, got my e-stop installed, and we're going to add some wheels to it. Then I'm going to set it down on the ground before I completely put this together, or I'll never be able to move it again. Because as right now, it's starting to get heavy. Okay, if you've watched the previous part 2 of this video, see I was having difficulty actually getting the time to put this top coat on because we were getting a new roof put on our house and the shop and the sheds, and we had contractors here and we had quite a mess going on. But I was able to finally get the top coat on it. This is a mixture of Rust-Oleum, acetone, and catalyst at a ratio of 4 to 3 to 1. A little picture of it here. And I've started to reassemble a little bit of it. I'll get into the electrical on here in just a minute. Yeah, this here is the box where the starter is housed. I've got it mounted to the right-hand side of the jointer as you would be facing it. Now, a little green pilot light there tells you that the power is on. So if the thing should stop running and that little green light is on, that means you've tripped the starter, or the thermal overload on the starter. I've got the pedestal installed up top. As you can see up here, it's mounted to the back of this on a piece of unistrut. And then here's the starter. With the back panel. The opening you see there at the back is where the motor cable will be coming in, and down here at the bottom where you see that connector down there, that will be my line cord, and I won't be putting those in until I get the wheels on this and get this thing set on the ground, because it is actually starting to get a little bit heavy. And this here is the emergency stop that I had mentioned before. Will be right about at my knee height once I get the wheels on this, get this thing set back down on the ground. This is a latching emergency stop, which means that if it gets pushed in like so, of course that will light up when it gets tripped like that. You cannot restart the machine again until you physically come out and pull that out. And I have the same type of thing down here on my table saw. Of course, things are a little dusty down here, but that blue light you see, that tells me that the power is on. And with this stop button, and I'll kind of give it a demonstration, if I push that in, it lights up. I will not be able to start either my table saw or my router. I use this stop when I'm changing bits, so I don't have to go unplug this thing. Once that is pushed in, it completely disables the control circuit, and there's no way you can start anything. Then when I get ready to go back to work, pull that out and I'm ready to go. And yeah, that's another one of them salvage boxes there that I used when I modified this table saw. And I'll probably use another one when I get to a couple other projects I got in mind here. Okay, time to get some wheels on this beast. It's still only just a stand, and it's starting to get a little heavy. So get some wheels on it so I can get it set down on the ground and be able to move it around, and then reassemble the rest of it. If I would assemble the rest of it up here on top of my table saw slash workbench slash work surface, I'd never be able to pick it up and move it. What I'm putting on here are they're red urethane wheels. The two in the front here have a lock on them. The two in the back are just swivel, and all four swivel so I can move this around any way I want because of the small shop situation I have here. Picked these up on Amazon. I've used them on a couple other projects around here. They're nice and rugged, and obviously they won't go flat. And of course, they're not all-terrain. You don't want to go pushing it across the grass or something, but on these hard surfaces of concrete, they work out real good. And one of the things I did is I made this frame and put it on here before I painted it, was had to put clamps on here all over the place to get this thing back into square. It was just way out of square. And then once I did, the original lips that were what usually sat on the ground now wraps around the bottom of this steel tube, and I've drilled and tapped holes for my casters, and on the sides I ran 1024s drilled and tapped all the way around it, and I'll probably add another one in the center here once I get the covers on. We'll see how well they stand on there, whether or not I need covers. My original plan was to do the base out of wood and just have a wood platform that this set on, and then I got to thinking there's still going to be sawdust and shavings and whatnot that are going to fall down inside here, and if I have a flat wood surface, I'd have to take cover off, clean it out. This way, if the stuff that does happen to fall through will just fall down on the ground, and I can sweep it up. Hopefully the chute and the dust collector will pick everything up. Well, got to get this last caster mounted on here. They're mounted with 1/4 screws, or bolts, drilled and tapped, and then get this thing set down on the ground and probably put the motor on next. Okay, it's actually starting to look like a jointer again. We've got this much of it reassembled. This is pretty straightforward. There's no secrets to this or anything. We'll make one suggestion though: if you're trying to put that motor in right there by yourself, get some help, because needless to say, I had a hell of a time getting that thing up in there and getting the bolts in, because it's rather heavy to hold with one hand and have the other hand around to hold the bolts, and then you need that third hand to put the nuts and washers on. But it's coming along here. Still need to put the handles on and everything, and I'm going to get into the specifics of that because that is a little bit complex, and I'll be showing how it's done. Going to give you a view around the outside, the dust chute over here. Of course, it's like 90 degrees again, but we can get by that. I'm going to throw the front cover on here and then proceed to try to getting some of the fence components cleaned up the rest of the way so I can put the fence together. Okay, this wraps up part 3 of the Grizzly G1182 1989/90 jointer rebuild. And coming up in part 4, I'll be doing the final alignments on it, getting the fence aligned, getting the 2 tables aligned, putting the new knives in, getting those set. I'll go through how to adjust the handles, how to adjust the gibs, get everything square, parallel, and level. It'd be quite a bit more of a detailed video than this one here. This was just the painting and the basic assembly. So that said, I hope you liked it. I hope you got something out of it. Of course, we always appreciate getting that thumbs up. And we're always looking for subscribers. And when you hit that subscribe button, there's a little bell right next to it. If you hit that bell, you'll be notified when I post another video. Otherwise, I'm Roger in the shop. Until part 4 or the next video. Thanks for watching.